What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to our recap of round one of the NHL playoffs, where the highs are exhilarating, but the lows can be crushing. When the playoffs aren't going your way, every game becomes a battleground. Every shot a potential game changer. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at all of the teams that unfortunately got eliminated in the first round. The Caps had a rough time in the 2024 playoffs, getting knocked out early in the first round. They did pretty well in the regular season, winning 40 games, losing 31, and tying 11 in overtime, which got them the second wildcard spot from the Eastern Conference. They surprised most audience by doing better than expected in the first round against the New York Rangers, even though they were struggling to score goals all season long. But in the long run, the Rangers were just too strong. Not too surprising after they had an amazing regular season, earning the President's Trophy with 114 points. As the series went on, it became pretty clear that the Rangers had more depth, with 10 players contributing rather than the Capitals' 6. It was a big deal when Alexander Ovechkin himself didn't score any points throughout the entire series, something that had never happened to him in the playoffs before. The Capitals had trouble scoring overall, which was a problem they had during the regular season also, where they ranked 28th in goals per game. Even though players like Ovi, Dylan Strome, and Anthony Mantha tried their best, the Capitals just couldn't get a good offensive rhythm going. The series ended up developing into a battle of special teams, but the Rangers were both better on the penalty kill and at their power plays. Because of that, in the end, the Rangers swept the Capitals in the best-of-7 series, which was a pretty big disappointment, considering the Capitals' history of playoff success to include winning their first Stanley Cup in 2018. The Islanders were knocked out by the Carolina Hurricanes for the second season in a row. Just like they did in 2023, the Canes eliminated the Islanders, despite the New York Islanders being the third best team in their division. The Islanders have not advanced past the first round of the NHL playoffs since their near championship run in 2021. What seemed to be wrong is that the Islanders failed to score when it really counted. The games were close, with most decided by just one goal if you discount the empty net goals in the first two games. Coach Patrick Roy kept emphasizing the importance of scoring at crucial moments, but the team just kept having trouble delivering. For instance, in Game 1, Kyle McLean scored early, but that was all they could manage the entire game, resulting in a 3-1 loss. In Game 2, they started strong with 2 goals, but then they only managed 5 more shots, allowing the Hurricanes to come back and win 5-3. Despite getting ahead a few times in some games, the Islanders consistently failed to maintain their lead. In Game 2, even while the Hurricanes were struggling, the Islanders let in 3 goals and just 6 shots against their goalie, Frederik Andersen. Despite all their efforts, the New York Islanders simply couldn't turn it around. And this series highlighted the importance of scoring while it counts, but also holding on to your leads in a playoff game. In a rather tense but equally as heartbreaking match, the Maple Leafs suffered a tough loss in the first round of the 2024 NHL playoffs. They were knocked out by the Boston Bruins in a nail-biting Game 7 that went into overtime. Throughout this series, the Maple Leafs just struggled with various challenges that ultimately led to their defeat. Firstly, they couldn't capitalize on their home advantage, losing 6 consecutive games dating back to the 2023 playoffs. Despite performing well in the regular season, they just couldn't maintain their momentum in the playoffs, only scoring more than 2 goals in a game one time in their last 14 postseason matches. Their power play, which was strong in the regular season, just failed against the Bruins, converting only 1 time out of 21 opportunities. Important Maple Leafs players like Austin Matthews and William Nylander faced setbacks, with Matthews dealing with his own health issues and Nylander missing games due to migraines affecting his vision. Ouch. In the critical Game 7, Toronto managed to score only 1 goal thanks to Nylander. The Bruins then won 2-1 in overtime, moving on to face the Florida Panthers in the next round. The Tampa Bay Lightning's adventure in the 2024 playoffs ended disappointingly with a first-round exit. Despite their strong form after the trade deadline, they just couldn't maintain that momentum in the postseason. They faced some pretty tough competition from the Florida Panthers, who are known for their fast-paced style and teamwork. Key players like Matthew Tkachuk, Carter Verhaeghe, and Alexander Barkov stood out for the Panthers, with even their fourth line making an impact, as seen when Steven Lorentz scored a crucial goal in Game 3. Under the coaching of Paul Maurice, the Panthers made some pretty strategic moves, to include acquiring Tkachuk, which paid off in the playoffs. Nikita Kucherov, who topped the league in points during the regular season, struggled to make any impact on the series at all. Despite contributing 7 assists, he just couldn't deliver in crucial moments, especially on the power play where the Panthers effectively just neutralized him. And this made his frustration evident to everyone watching. This early exit for the Tampa Bay Lightning marks a significant moment for this team, because they've been champions twice recently and reached finals last year. Now it looks like the Lightning must think about their next moves, including decisions about free agents and draft picks. The Nashville Predators' playoff journey ended in a pretty sad fashion. The Preds oftentimes found themselves ahead but just couldn't seal the deal, losing important leads in 2 out of 3 games that they were ahead in. In the first game, they surrendered a 2-1 lead to the Canucks, who quickly then scored twice, resulting in a 4-2 loss. Their defeat in the fourth game stung even more, as the Preds squandered a 3-1 lead due to a late comeback by the Canucks, who then sealed the deal with an overtime goal for a 4-3 victory. The Predators struggled with their power play, only managing to convert 2 out of their 22 attempts. Despite scoring early with a power play goal in Game 1, they still faced difficulties afterwards, with the Canucks' defense disrupting all of their strategies, contributing to their downfall. Goalkeeping troubles persisted for the Preds as well, who just couldn't capitalize on the Canucks' goalies' injuries. Even with backup and third-string goalies in play, the Canucks managed to hold their ground really well, even resulting in a shutout-1 game that just dashed the playoff dreams for the Predators. Looking back on their season, the Preds, who missed the playoffs last year, now confront a series of annoying decisions to make in regards to their lineup and draft plans following another disappointing playoff exit. Looks like it's time for reflection and strategizing for a stronger return in the upcoming season. The Los Angeles Kings faced off once again against the Edmonton Oilers in the opening round of the NHL playoffs. And for the 3rd consecutive year, the Oilers proved to be way too much for the Kings, eliminating them right from the start of the playoffs. Despite a good performance by the Kings in their regular season, finishing just 5 points behind the Oilers, it just wasn't enough. Their biggest weakness was easily their power play. The Kings' power play failed to score even 1 time with a player advantage, while the Oilers managed to capitalize on almost half of their power plays. The Kings, who are known for their strong penalty defense, found themselves struggling to find any solutions at all. It didn't help that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl from the Oilers were just totally on fire that series. McDavid tallied an impressive 12 points, including a record-tying 5 assists in 1 game, while Draisaitl contributed with 10 points. The Kings' defense couldn't contain their offensive onslaught one bit. Adding more to their frustrations, the Kings have been unable to break their playoff losing streak since their last championship win in the year 2014. The Kings' playoff journey ended prematurely while the Oilers still march forward, leaving the Kings scratching their head once again on how to bounce back stronger next season. Despite having high hopes for the playoffs, the Winnipeg Jets encountered some significant obstacles in the Colorado Avalanche, leading to an early exit from the postseason. Let's look at what influenced that fate. The Jets were entering the playoffs with a strong defensive foundation, having conceded the fewest goals in the regular season. However, this didn't matter too much to the Avalanche's relentless offensive pressure, which just dismantled the Jets' defensive strategy. Throughout this 5-game series, Winnipeg allowed a staggering 28 goals, making them the most vulnerable defense in the NHL playoffs. Against the Avalanche, the Jets faced some pretty big challenges with their special teams, boasting a penalty kill of only 62.5%. The Jets allowed 2 power play goals in Games 1, Game 3, and Game 4. And defensively, they struggled to convert on their own power play opportunities as well, by only scoring 3 goals out of their 13 attempts in the series. These were issues that persisted from the regular season, where the Jets ranked poorly on both power play and penalty kill. Despite a thrilling 7-6 victory in Game 1, the Jets' offensive momentum just dwindled as the series went on, never catching back up to Colorado. As the Avalanche now move forward to the next round, the Jets are left reflecting on their performance and considering their next steps for the future. The Las Vegas Golden Knights, who had won the Stanley Cup before, faced the Dallas Stars in an exciting and intense matchup. The Knights' dreams were crushed, however, in a gripping Game 7 at the American Airlines Center. Las Vegas fought hard but came up short, losing 2-1 to the Stars. This loss marked the end of their title defense. Jake Ottinger, the Dallas Stars goalie, just stole the show with an amazing performance, blocking 21 out of 22 shots and shutting down the Golden Knights' offense. The game's most crucial moment came when Radek Faksa scored early in the third period, securing the win for Dallas. Although Brett Howden briefly tied the game for the Golden Knights with a great goal, and Jack Eichel almost changed the outcome with a close shot, Faksa's goal sealed the deal for the Dallas Stars. This win highlighted the coaching skills of Pete DeBoer, the former Golden Knights coach who now maintains a perfect Game 7 record of 8-0. With this victory, the Dallas Stars are moving on to face the Colorado Avalanche in the next round. Both teams, of course, aiming for that Stanley Cup. Despite the disappointment, though, the Golden Knights and their fans can cherish in their past successes instead. Hey, that's all for our recap of the Round 1 eliminations for the NHL playoffs. What team are you the most upset or surprised about getting knocked out? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video if you liked this video, and keep an eye out for our next video.